Howdy, Namie Amuro fanatics. This is Steven, and I'm back with some interesting news. Alright, so I read this article, and this article was posted on a website called aramajapan.com, and the title of the article is Namie Amuro rumored to be planning American debut. And just a quick shout out to YouTube user Wikipedia for giving me a heads up about the article. So thanks a lot. All right. So I'm like, whoa. Like Namie is going to make a debut in the United States. Like that is probably like my dream come true to see Namie do something like that. What I'm going to do is, you know, go through the article and give my opinions on different things here and there. All right. So first part is Business Journal reports that following her transfer to AVAC's subsidiary label Dimension Point, diva Namie Amuro has bought a home in Los Angeles and is planning to try and make it in America. All right, so right there. All right, so diva, they're supposed to put J-pop diva, but they forgot the J-pop part. But nevertheless, they still, they're on the right track. But yeah, Namie bought a home in Los Angeles. This is all rumored. We're not it's not sure. Like no one's positive about this. This is all rumors, so we can't say for sure. However, Arama Japan has been right on a couple of occasions that I know of, at least. They were right on the Namie and Jolin side collaboration, and they were right on Namie leaving her agency. So hey, perhaps they're right on this. They could be. All right, but back to topic. All right, so yeah, she's going to move to Los Angeles, and she's going to try to make it in the United States. That's cool. It's like it's cool to see that Namie. If this is true, it's cool to see that she's taking a step to push herself and go forward in her career, instead of just resting on her laurels, so to speak. All right. And also, it's cool that Namie is in the United States. She's moving to the United States because that means that we, like me and Namie, can take our relationship to the next level. Our imaginary relationship. All right. But next part. A music industry official claims that she has received a serious offer overseas from Warner Music Group and is planning to advance toward carrying out her activities in Los Angeles. All right. So here, it's like, okay, it seems like, Warner Music Group, that seems like a really, reputable, record label. So, and she's receiving an offer from a reputable record label in the United States. This is rumored, but if this is true, then that's really good. So, it's cool that people, outside of Asia are checking for Namie in a business sense, And, if this is true, then, that means that she's going to be over in the United States. She's going to be over, in the West, She's going to be possibly performing on like late night talk shows and daytime talk shows and, other places that people do musical performances in the United States as well. So cool. That's cool. All right. Next. The same music industry official dished, and he or she dished the following. Namie is well aware of Utada's experience in the United States. Shade. She has begun intense English language lessons. Okay. All right, so they kind of did a little shade there with Utada and her experience in the United States. But Utada Hikaru, like, she spoke English like a native, like she speaks English as a native language, basically. She probably did learn, she probably was exposed to Japanese first in the house, but, she was raised in New York, Manhattan, New York. So I'm pretty sure English was the first language she really embraced. And they're saying that Namie is taking intense English language lessons, but, and that's good. I applaud Namie for doing that, but I feel like, she won't get to that level, most likely, of being a native English speaker. Most likely, it's very likely that she won't. However, that doesn't necessarily hold her back. She may have an accent, but that doesn't necessarily hold her back, though. Because, the singer Shakira, did something similar. She, learned English and then did the crossover. And she was able to do it. I know there's some differences in that situation, but it's possible. You don't have to speak English exactly like a native English speaker to make it in the United States. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. All right, next. Concerning her music, she is fully satisfied with the type of music she releases being on par with the status quo. She's not in a "I want to break America and be successful at all costs" mindset, but rather, "I want to step up my game." All right. So first, I'll address that music situation there. All right. So the music that Namie releases in Japan is kind of like the music. It's very similar to the music in the United States. It could probably be played on American radio, which is good. It's kind of like, okay, it has its own quality, I think. So it's not exactly like American music, because I think that Namie uses producers from not America, but maybe like Australia or Sweden or something like that. So, okay, basically they saying that she says that, she's satisfied with the type of music she make, and she know that it's on par with the status quo in the United States. Basically it can be played on American radio because it's not too avant-garde to be played on American radio, like maybe some of her other music that she's released over the years, and she's not in that, like, I've gotta make it at all costs and break the American music market mindset. And that's good, because it's a very great chance that she might not do it. But she's approaching this in, like, she just want to step up her game. She just want to try something new and push herself forward. And that's a good mindset to be in. Just, it's more about just ultimately just bettering yourself and pushing yourself forward in your career and challenging yourself. This is going to be a challenge for Namie, because I can't really think of any, Asian music artists that have made it big in the United States. The closest we got, is Psy. And besides Gangnam Style, like, what else he released? He's just a one-hit wonder, But it's better than nothing. But I'm just saying. All right. Next, speaking of advancement in the American market, it brings up the question of if she has the skill set and charisma to make it work. Okay, now they trying Namie in this article now. First, y'all, well, to be fair, the music industry official did shade Utada and not the person who wrote this article, but still. So y'all shading Utada now. Y'all shading Utada, now y'all shading Namie. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So they questioning her skill set and charisma. But to be fair, it's gonna come up though. Something like that's gonna come up in a situation like this. All right. Next in this article, to compare past attempts, American-born Hikaru Utada released 2 English language albums, Exodus in 2004 and This Is the One in 2009. While she was a huge hit in Japan and a native speaker of English, she didn't live up to the expectations despite her 2 chances in America. Okay, so okay, they're making a comparison here because as you guys know, like other Asian artists have tried to break into the American music market, and Utada is a extremely great example of this because she is a native English speaker and she was born and raised in the United States. So she would. It seemed like she would be the best candidate to break the American music market. She has a lot going for her, and they're basically saying like she has a lot going for her, and she had two chances, but she wasn't able to break the American music market despite her exceptional English language skills, native English speaker, and being that she was born and raised in the United States, you know. So those are good points to bring up. All right, next. Boa is a Korean artist that eventually opened the floodgate for other K-pop artists debuting in Japan. But the release of her 2009 English language self-titled album in America did not have the same effect. And that's true. I do remember following Boa's, um, you know, career in the United States, and she did come with some. She came with some interesting music, but I think that with Boa, first she was like on a indie label from SM Entertainment, I think. So I don't think she was on like, you know, Warner Brothers or Interscope or RCA, some major record label. So that was a strike against her. And also, I think the music that she had was maybe a bit too American to the point where it's like, okay, who is Boa? It seems like Boa kind of lost herself in that. You know, I think when you are a foreign artist, at least for your debut, you might have to sort of give people a taste of where you come from. I know Shakira kind of did something like that when she debuted in the United States. And then afterwards, she started, incorporating more, international and Western. Well, I guess she's a Westerner, but, more, I guess, American styles into her music. Let's see. Next, in 2012, Korean artists, I don't know why they have artists. Okay, sorry about that. Korean artists. They put an S for some reason. In 2012, Korean artist Psy had his huge hit Gangnam Style that went viral worldwide. And despite the 2 billion hits it amassed on YouTube, he failed to ever match a significant fraction of that attention in his follow-up attempts, bringing into question whether America is ready to take an Asian music artist seriously. Hmm. Have we ever taken a, I'm an American, born and raised in the United States, and in my recollection, I can't really think of an Asian music artist that people have taken seriously. To be fair, there might be some artists that have, had some success and they've been mixed with Asian, but I think they weren't viewed as Asian, if you get what I'm saying. Because there's some people who, some celebrities who are part Asian, but I don't think they're viewed as Asian. One celebrity who comes to mind is uh, A. Marie. I think she is African American and Korean, and she's had some success in the music market in the United States. But I think she was viewed more so as African American than Asian, and that may have helped her, you know, gain some success because, there's a place for African Americans in the entertainment industry. Some people have some issues with that and would like a bigger place, but there is a space, you know. But for Asian artists, I don't think there's a space for Asian artists in entertainment. Well, Asian people in entertainment. I don't think so. Not yet. I mean, not to say that there aren't Asian people who have entered the entertainment industry, because there are, but I just can't think of any. Well, I can think of some. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Maggie Q. and all of them do like you know, martial arts. So you know that's playing into a stereotype too that all Asian people know martial arts. So you, eh. To put it simply, y'all, it's not really much of a place for Asian people in entertainment, and the place that is set is very, it's you know, it's stereotypical, unfortunately. All right, let me get back to this. So, is America ready to take an Asian musical artist seriously? Possibly not. But sometimes you're not necessarily ready for something, but it just has to happen. So maybe that's going to be something that just has to happen, you know. All right, next part of this article. According to the same industry source, this is not a venture to make money, but rather to challenge herself. Following her attempt to break America, it is said that they are already planning a triumphant return for her with a national tour starting with an appearance on NHK's annual New Year's Eve music show. I don't know how the heck to pronounce this. Hikaru Utada. I know what that is, but I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. But it's that um, very popular music music show, and it happens at the end of the year. Like all the artists or all the successful artists in Japan come together and they all perform on this show. You know, if you've been invited to this show, then that means you're kind of like a big deal. Like people are checking for you if you've been invited to this show. And there's actually been a couple of Westerners that have been invited to this show as well. One that I can think of is Cyndi Lauper. She was invited to participate, but mostly Japanese people, you know. And of course, I think Boa's been invited. You know, she's Korean, so you know, there you go. All right, here's the last part of this article. With a career spanning 3 decades and her current reign as Japan's diva, it seems like she is taking her career into her own hands and looking at it from a renewed stance. And yeah, she's been taking her career into her hands. She's just, I guess, putting more effort and you know trying to better herself. That's cool. You know, that is cool, and she should be doing that. All right, you guys. I just want to speak on a couple of things in general. All right, I've made a video about this topic similar, well, pretty much more or less, and I'll post a link to that video in the description box. But yeah, I made a video about Namie, what she should do in order to make herself more likely to succeed in, you know, the American music market or the international music market. But one thing that I can think of that none of these other Asian artists had when they debuted, one thing that I can think of that Namie needs to get, and she needs it, she needs a cosign. And some of you may be asking, what's a cosign? Okay, a cosign is a person who's kind of like in the industry that you're trying to get into or in the place that you're trying to get into, and this person kind of vouches for you more or less and saying like, you know, listen to this artist, they're really good. You know, examples of a cosign, I'd say Iggy Azalea and T.I. T.I. was the cosign for Iggy Azalea. You know, you know, she's the it thing right now. She was a foreigner, you know, she's from Australia, and she is also, you know, a rapper. So, you know, she's a foreigner, she's Caucasian, and she's trying to break into the rap game, and she's also a woman. So she had a lot of things working against her, but that cosign from T.I. helped a lot, you know. Let's see. A cosign, you know, some artists from overseas have made it and they didn't necessarily have a cosign, I guess. You know, like the Spice Girls, for instance. I don't really think they had a cosign, you know, someone, you know, a mentor who was saying check them out. However, that's a little different because, they can pass as Westerners, quote unquote, you know, because, most of them were Caucasian, you know? Heck, they were pretty much seen as a Caucasian musical group. And that probably helped them kind of ease in. And also, America is related to the United Kingdom because it was a colony of the United Kingdoms at one point, or Great Britain. As well, America was also a colony of Spain and France as well as some other places probably. But basically what I'm trying to say is that it's a little different for Asian musical artists because there's no place, so that cosign is very important. A really good cosign that I think would just rocket Namie to, the next level would be a cosign from Beyonce and Jay-Z. Granted, I don't think she's gonna get it though. I don't think so. No shade to anyone involved in the situation, but I just don't think so. Unless she signs to Jay-Z's record label. And I don't think that's happening. But if she does, then yes, that would be a great cosign. But oddly enough, Namie and Beyonce have a lot in common though. I made a video about that too, So I'll put a link in the description about the similarities between Namie and Beyonce. In the description area. All right. One cosign that I can think of that Namie could get is maybe TLC. People still kind of check for TLC. I think that would be a good cosign. They could probably do a song together, and TLC is like, check her out. She's a cool musical artist. She's been around for decades in Japan, and she's trying to break it into the international music market in the United States. So, yeah, that would be a great cosign. Let's see. Another tip that I would give Namie, which might be a little controversial, for some people, but I would advise her to possibly dye her hair blonde. Now, I hate to say that because it might come off as a bit offensive or a bit like, oh, we have to westernized and Easterner or whitewash Easterners. But I think that might actually help her out. And when she gets really successful, she can just dye it back or keep it dyed. But having blonde hair helps in the United States. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real here. So get a cosign, dye your hair blonde. But I do advise you to brace for the backlash that you will receive from dyeing your hair blonde for some of your fans that already knew you, because they're gonna be like, oh no, she's trying to be white, or she's trying to be a Westerner, she's a sellout. Because the same thing happened with Shakira. When Shakira came to the United States, she dyed her hair blonde. It's naturally black. And some of the people who knew her before were like, oh, she's trying to be like Britney Spears. She's, you want to be white, but I think that she is white, probably. I'm not sure. I think so though. But another story for another day. And also like, oh, you're a sellout. You want to be like Britney Spears. Again, she wants to be viewed as like something else. And it did help. It helped. But she said she had did that before. She was going to do that anyway, whether she entered the American music market or not. But there's some artists. Let's see. We have Utada who tried, Boa who tried. I think Wonder Girls tried. I think Rain may have tried. I don't know for sure. Let's see. Crystal K. She may have tried. I'm not sure. I think she may have tried. Who else tried to get into this? The American music market, and is Asian. let's see. Um, Seiko Matasuda or Matasada. I'm not quite sure of her last name, but she was the J-pop queen of the 1980s. Like during the 80s, she was like the J-pop queen. She tried it, and she was like such a big deal in Japan, but she found out that her status in Japan does not transfer to the United States, unfortunately. I think she had like a minor hit with like one of the New Kids on the Block dudes. Um, I forget which one. I guess like Donnie something maybe. Some dude from New Kids on the Block. And she had a minor hit, and she did a duet with him. I guess those are all the people I can think of at the moment. Um, but yeah, so if Namie does this, then she will be super. She will have broken down a barrier if Namie successfully does this. Fingers crossed for her. It's a tough job, Namie. It's a tough job, but you might just be the woman to make it happen. You might be the woman to do this job. I hope so. I hope you can do it. You know. I read some comments that were under this article, and a lot of people were kind of going in on Namie and saying she can't do it. No one's gonna be checking for her and things like that. And I can see why they would make those comments, but I'm gonna just say that Namie can do it. I'm gonna put it out there. If everything's positioned correctly, if everyone does plays their position in her team, and if she does what she needs to do on her end, then she could do it. I gave her some tips. I gave her a couple of more tips, and it's great that she's trying to do something like this. But, some of those comments, people were going in on her. And I'm just like, you need to chill. Just a little bit. But I get what they're saying, though. I kind of thought something like this may have been coming when Namie started singing songs entirely in English. Even though she said that she was not planning to do something like this, I kind of saw it. And I think she just put that comment out there because she didn't want people to, put so much pressure on her to do it, When it's not pressure, sometimes you perform better than when you do have pressure. Sometimes. But, I've gone on for long enough. I could go on for even longer about this topic because, it just resonates with me. But I think I'll just end the video here. Sorry for going on for so long. But thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to comment. Leave your comments, definitely. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. The feedback and the support is extremely appreciated. And as well, I just want to put it out there that, I'll do everything on my end as a Namie Amuro fan to make her success in America, to help her be successful in America by listening to her songs and buying her album and supporting her and watching her when she does musical performances, and as well making videos on YouTube in English about her. I'm sure that helps. And also if this does happen, then I can say, as well as a whole bunch of other people, that we can say that we've been knew about Namie. When people are talking about her on the show, I'm like, I've been knew about Namie for like 10 years, back in 03 or 04. And I knew about her for like a decade at least. Like, y'all late. And there's people out here who knew about her since way back in 1992 when she debuted as a part of the Super Monkeys. So, hey, I wish Namie the best of luck in her career. I don't know if this story is true or not, but if it's true, then I definitely wish her the best of luck. And you have my support, Namie. You have my support. So again, thanks a lot for watching. Adios and goodbye for now.